Hello and welcome. So, are you trying to figure out how to not feel like you're being punked by the universe all the time? It's like an ambush of darkness. And the number one way to overcome that and what it's really providing you is the understanding and the tools to remember your power. So, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking to you about things that really got me thinking and really shifting my understanding and getting to what we'll conclude with the tools, the takeaways from these examples. And the number one thing I want to say is I really loved, from the minute I saw it, the movie The Matrix. And this is going back a long, long time. And it's so awesome because the Matrix takes on different meanings as I evolve consciously, and that really reminds me of the Bible. And if you haven't heard before, Neo spelled backwards is the one, which Jesus is called the one, way, path, things of that nature. And so I like to also say that whenever I read the Bible, which I'm super grateful now that I was not culturally indoctrinated into what the Bible meant. So when I first read it, I'm like, holy smokes. And now, as years go on with the Matrix and the Bible, it's like, holy smokes. And so the number one thing I want to use to help understand this and is what kept happening. And so what was happening is they were trying to take down the Matrix. They had become awakened and they were trying to take down the Matrix. So they would get in there, infiltrate the Matrix, and then they would just have agents coming. And so that's the part we want to focus on right there, is because what was happening is as soon as they knew an agent was onto them, they ran. They ran like mofo. They would run, they would get in fear, they would just be out. And so what we can really understand is that there was a spiritual and energetic understanding that there was something there that shouldn't be. And so that energy came through multiple people to stop them. Okay, so be with me here. Because the way that Jesus described this very thing was, we are not fighting flesh and blood. We are fighting spiritual principles. So the two are very much one and the same. And so what leads me to understanding this is what messed with my head for years. And that was Neo stopping. And then that whole interplay of, just running towards the agent and going inside of his body and all of those things that happened. And there's a lot of people that have talked about this. He integrated his shadow. He overcame his fear and realized he had the power all along. So these are all kind of metaphors for what I want to use as the tools to overcome spiritual attack. There's no difference in what the Matrix is talking about and what Jesus was talking about. And that is to recognize and understand that, especially because what was Jesus going through? Awakening. What was Neo going through? Awakening. What were all the prophets in the Bible or other spiritual texts going through? From Akhenaten to, maybe we could even use, some of the Kabbalah and stuff with Hermes. What everybody was going through is understanding energy and the dark forces that come for all those people I just described. It was for them to remember that they have the power. They are the one. We are all the one. Okay. So be with me here, because then we're going to really dive deep into what we're doing when these spiritual attacks happen. And they are, especially if you're going through expansion and awakening, because their goal is to keep you asleep. And just to add a caveat to this, you are the one trying to keep you asleep, and you are the one trying to awaken you. So the agent and Neo are the same. The agent provided Neo with the memory that he had the power. And so it's all a good interplay. Judah sent Jesus to the cross so that Jesus could awaken and have his rebirth and remember who he was. So let's kind of dive deeper into this so we can understand the tools and what this means when we're feeling these spiritual attacks. Okay, so if we understand that we don't even have to recognize that this is for our benefit, screw it. Let's not say that. Let's just say at the end of the day, we want to say, okay, we are being inundated with dark emotions, dark energies, dark people or circumstances in our lives that are really instigating a lot of inner turmoil. And so what we want to recognize, therefore, is that we have the power to overcome the world, as Jesus said, or as Neo said, he is the one to take down the matrix. What that really means is that no matter what's happening outside you, you've come to this place within yourself, an inner power that nothing dictates how you feel. Nothing stops you from being a conscious creator. Nothing stops you from your best life. And so the spiritual forces, especially in expansion of trying to get out of these low dense emotions that we have been very bogged down with, very dense planet, we are getting provided with a lot of this inner triggering, and whether it seems like you're drowning, you're not. Whether it seems like it's, a force that you can't reckon with, it's not. It's really, whether you're consciously aware of this or not, it already is breaking up the momentum of you falling prey to it. Because the more and more it happens, the more there's a deep part of yourself that is like, I want something better. And just from that, you're bringing light to it. So there's the first tool, is to just really accept that this is happening and say, oh, I want better. I deserve better. I know there's better. I have examples of people that have overcome this. I know that I can do this. Starting to inject it with not running or blaming, but facing. And that's what Neo did. He turned around and he faced it. And, that was mystifying for me for many years. Like, what did that whole thing mean in the end? Especially when you get to the end and he goes to the architect and there's all the rooms, and that's a whole nother video. But it really messed with me. Like, what did that all mean? Because I was understanding a lot, but I couldn't that. So just be with me here, because there might be something here that will actually draw your consciousness to understand, because the goal of this channel, the goal of the planet, the goal of all of those spiritual teachers before us was to help us remember we have the power. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so now that we know that we have to face it, we have to go within ourselves and feel this dark energy, these dark forces, and realize that it's the outer that's triggering it, but it's inside us. And I'm here to tell you, anything that you are feeling within yourself and you're blaming an external source, you are giving away the power that you have to convert energy. You are an alchemist. Your inherent nature is love and light. And so all of those things, they're just blocking that. And so the goal of this video is to help you understand the darkness is attacking you, but guess what? It can be your biggest awakening when you recognize that you can cultivate that darkness you're feeling that's coming from the external picturing or instigator of triggering it within you. And then you can get a lot of power back every time you face that, which is just not going into the programs that you go into of projection or blaming the outer world, and not recognizing that you don't have to say, oh, I can't ever change this. You can go within and change it. And that takes alchemy, which, we got to talk about what is alchemy. How do we do that? Because at the end of the day, I just want you to know, jumping forward to the end, once you understand this process and you consistently implement it within yourself, then no dark external factors can affect you anymore. You'll just be walking on water. You will overcome the world. You will be the king and the queen of your reality. And this is really all you really want, because everything you're doing, you're running from bad bosses, you're running from bad relationships, you're running from toxic friend groups, all of those things that you're doing is because you don't like the way it makes you feel. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can choose how you feel no matter what's happening out here. Yeah. Big bank takes little bank. That's my thing. Every time I would hear that song, I was like, big light takes little light. Big light takes no light. Light, 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 So it's just, you have to, what I did is I called it the art of war. So I remembered that this is a war within myself, not out there. Out there is providing me with the tools to instigate the internal war, but the internal war is mine to win. Okay. So now we got that part down. So let's just understand the art of alchemy as I have used it, and I've learned from other teachers how to use it. And let's start using it day by day and getting this power back and feeling good no matter what shit show the outer gives us. Okay, so this is where, I talked about you have to kind of start owning, that you are player one. It's another way of saying it. And that you have the power within you. And what that takes is a whole lot of self-realizations. This happened and it triggered this in me. And so what we've been doing is lacking that self-realization. We've been saying this happened and this mofo is sending me this dark spiritual energy. And now I feel like junk. I got to run from this, or I got to fight, or, whatever that, energy pattern is that you hold when you are faced with this certain frequency. And so self-realization, as I teach it, is understanding what's happening externally is invoking within you, without projecting it as it being something external. Because you can't get the power back inside yourself if you continue to think it's something out there. It's not. It's activating something in here. And a good life resides in feeling good in here. No house, car, job, boss, relationship, family, trip, travel. None of that is going to fix what's happening in here permanently. They're Band-Aids, and the more you are relying on external things to make you feel good, the more susceptible you are to these dark attacks because you're not getting self-aware of where the real feel good is. And that is self-realization. I can feel good without anything. Yeah, I can feel good as a choice. That's self-realization. I can cultivate feeling good. I can change my energy patterns. I can change my emotional triggered reactions. I can change that. That is self-realization. That is taking your power back. That's the first thing. If you don't flip that switch, and it's the hardest to flip, by the way. I know I've coached for a decade and nobody wants to own this. And there's certain things right now in my life that I'm like, especially certain soul contracts, I'm like, no, this mofo is effing with me. I can't get it to stop. There's certain things, and that's what Jesus meant by we go to sleep. There's certain things that we can't be self-realized about. We still fall asleep and blame the external world. But that's what we're working on, y'all. And I know that we're all going to achieve this. So you can get dragged longer until you finally say, okay, I'm going to self-realize, or you can just start now. So let's get to how do we start now? Okay, I get it. Let's do it. And it's like, okay, but how? So here goes. Okay, so now that we've got that self-realization, because if you don't get that piece, the rest is kind of out the window, because you're going to continue to be like, oh, they made me feel this, or if I change jobs, I'll feel better, and all of that. Wherever you go, you take you with you. Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but without the step one, there's no growth. There's no getting your power back. There's no feeling better. There's no overcoming the world. You have to recognize that part. And so the next thing I would like to do is when you feel emo and you're all jacked up inside and there's an external that you're saying, oh, I don't like this. Why is this person attacking me? Or why is this happening? Or what force is behind that? You feel that happening, then you take a pause. The pause is important. because that is breaking up the pattern we have of where our mind goes and tries to do, fix, change, analyze, get very caught up in that matrix programming, okay? And so to detach from the matrix programming is mean you create a pause within yourself and you say, ooh, why did I want to feel this? What is this feeling meant to show me? Where is this darkness that's coming, leading me to find my light? And so I just always like to jump to the end because the steps to get there, you have to have a bonus. We like instant gratification. So I want you to know that once you've been doing this for a while and this happens, you immediately feel that trigger, feel the darkness within you, and you shift it right away to love, peace, light. I will even go so far as to, oh, here it is, a darkness. Because, as you get to the end, it's like not very often you get triggered and you're like, ooh, what's this? What's this meant to show me? What's left inside of me that I'm allowing, this external thing to instigate a schism? What's in my unconscious still that's fighting against the matrix? And then I would feel light. I would envision it. I would bubble it around me. Then I would go on Abraham rampages. Can nothing touch me? I'm in the vortex. Everything's working out for me. I would do anything. It is a war, y'all. And the war is inside yourself. And we've been warring against changing everything out there. Never will work. It's a distraction. Just like in the Matrix, Neo was running from the agents. All he had to do was turn around and realize, can nothing hurt me? I have the power to convert this. I bring it into myself. I bring it back home to myself, and I love it. And I hate to use that word because it's so misconstrued of what the meaning is, but we bring it back to that state of love, the highest, whatever you want to call that, 5D, so many different things. And I like them all because whatever resonates with you, use that. I'm going to bring this to the state of love, the state of peace. I actually like peace better. It really describes, because peace has no highs and lows, no contrast, no duality, and union is what are achieving, and that's within ourselves. So peace is a good one. So I hope you're understanding that part. So what we're doing is first we're getting self-realized that it's me getting triggered into something, and I have the power to convert this into peace and keep cultivating peace within myself, and then external things will no longer trigger me. Not that there isn't dark forces, but what we're trying to do is, it's law of resonance. If a person has a dark force that can instigate a dark trigger in us, then it's on to the races. But when we heal and alchemize all of our own darkness, we walk on water. We're just done. We're overcoming the matrix. So that's self-realization. And then why is this happening? You can create the pause however you can within yourself. What is this meant to show me that's left in my own darkness? Why can't I just shift immediately to love? A state of being, peace. I forgot. I want to use peace because love is such a romantic notion. And I do talk about how words have been, convoluted. And so we want to get to that state, and without needing some external way to change it. This is how addiction happens. This is how overeating happens. This is how people chasing relationship happens. All of that is because we cannot cultivate the good feeling, and we're projecting out there that something will give it to us. And then we're at the mercy of the highs and lows of reality, because everybody's shisty and shady as a mother, for real. So now we've created the pause and we're saying that. So what's next? The best part yet. Because like I said, skipping to the end where it's just you're injecting it with light, you just don't understand. That part of yourself has been dragging your vibration down for so long. So once you start injecting it to light and it doesn't antagonize you anymore, you get so much power and you're like floating. That's why Jesus said walking on water. That's what it feels like. So let's just talk a little bit about injecting it with light deeper, and then just kind of wrap this up with a summation of maybe how we can just remember to do this when we feel like we're being attacked by the darkness, and how we can stay awake. That's really what it is. You know, I love Jesus is my lover bear. I really love the way, like, his personality, you can just totally feel it after you've read enough about him. But he's just like, I left you fools for 5 minutes and you fell asleep. Christ consciousness, right? When you're around people that are of light, you feel it too. Just like right now, you're feeling the spiritual forces attack you. Yeah, because that's the dominant energy on the planet right now. But when you feel somebody that's in the light, it's so magnetic. You want that for yourself. You can get everything through that. Not by manipulating. There's no manipulation in the light. There's just love and loving everything that's happening. And it's just so... You've created that self-realization that you have to bring it within. You are asking yourself, what is this meant to show me that's still in my blind spots? How can I inject it with light? How can I reframe it? Don't want to get too analytical. Don't want to use psychology ways. I want to just use the art of alchemy, which is feeling the state that you're in, owning that it's yours, creating that pause, and then finding a way to inject it with light. And when you first start, it will be extremely hard. The only thing you can really do is just give it your presence, your conscious attention, without trying to change it. Because remember, our mind's going to be like, ooh, I got to quit this job. Ooh, I got to tell this person off. Ooh, I got to do that. Ooh, I got to road rage. Oh, you know, it's all those things where at first we just have to bring still presence, the pause. Okay, here it is. I can feel what I usually do. I'm not going to do it. And I'm telling you, even just overcoming that the first couple times is like so empowering. You feel like a wise sage. So there's gifts in every level. And then as you start to do it more and more, you're realizing, ooh, there it is. What's this about? And then you can just do like I do, which is envisioning a bubble of light, feeling peace deeply. And then the most cool thing about all of this is that once you start shifting, when people are the agents that are bringing that energy to you, and you just go like Neo did, straight with light to them, they become everything you have ever wanted. They become love and light too. One person aligned with God can change millions. It used to be millions, but now the density of the planet, I think they're saying it's around 500,000. So we got to get to it, y'all. Not for them, for us. Because then they will reflect love and light to us, and then we will experience a lot more love, a lot more peace, a lot more joy in our lives. This is the key. So I really hope that this helps you get on your own journey of stopping the dark forces, of allowing yourself to become love and light without any condition taking you from it. That's what unconditional love means, by the way. Nothing takes me from my state of love. No condition. And you really just start leveling up your life, because this is it. First, you have to do the internal work, and then the external will reflect it. So if you understand, or if you've experienced something, or if you have another tip or trick, or if this jogged something for you and you want to share, please do. I love that. You guys can teach me. I'm not know-it-all everything. I really just, I'm trying to help through what I've learned, help others, but then in turn help myself, remind myself. So let's get it. All right, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, and until next time, take care.